So my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to learn about the, as I told in the previous some lecture while we are doing the balancing, dynamic balancing, there is a thing called static balancing also. So say if there is a shaft like this and there is a flywheel like this is the flywheel. Okay, so in static condition also this will bend slightly. If you see the very enlarged view of the entire structure, so your this beam, this shaft will be slightly bent like this. So this is your static deflection. This part is your static deflection. So we need to know, I'll tell you the purpose, because already we have learned the concept of critical speed, and for the estimation of the critical speed, these are the things will be required. So we will know it in better way with the help of some numerical example with some during successive lectures. So today, first, now we are going to estimate. We are going to find out the static deflection of a simply supported beam. So let us consider this is my beam and it is supported here. You can consider that now we are considering that the entire weight is working is acting from the middle. So there is a flywheel there or not, you can consider also there is a flywheel. So this entire weight is working like this. Okay, and my axis is, this side is my positive x-axis and this side is my positive y-axis. And you know, while there will be the deflection, so it will be due to the weight, it will bend like this. So the deflection, this deflection, it will be in negative y direction. Okay, so let us take some point here. This is the point A, and this is middle point C, and this is another point B. So these all you may be knowing for while you completed your engineering mechanics, that Timoshenko and Young, that one book is there. So this is RA, the reaction, and this point is RB. Already we have seen this, all these things for our dynamic balancing too. So let us specify, say I want to find out this angle. So this angle, let it theta A, and this point at the middle, this is basically theta C, that is basically 0. Similarly, because as it is in it is symmetric structure, it is in middle, so this angle theta B, so theta B and theta A both are equal. Okay, we know if this is a curve, say y is equal to fx, if this is a curve, at any point, if I want to find out the slope, theta, that is nothing but value of derivative, first derivative or dy dx at that point. It's very simple. This will be our assumption. So now let us specify the boundary condition for this problem. So here x is equal to 0 because my coordinate I am starting from here, and that time my deflection y, that is also is equal to 0. At the middle, that is my entire length, if it is L, so my middle length is L by 2 and my y is equal to y max. And my theta is 0. So at x is equal to L by 2, my theta or the dy dx is 0. At x is equal to L, again my y is 0. Okay. Now if I balance all the force here, now I am assuming that entire things are in equilibrium. So this Ra plus Rb, that is equal to W. And if I take the moment, if I balance the moment with respect to point B, then this Ra into the entire length. So Ra into the entire length is equal to, because this it will try to move in this direction and this weight it will try to move in this direction. So sign will be negative. Summation of moment will be 0. So that is W into L by 2. So Ra will be W by 2. So if I replace here this Ra, you will get your Rb also is equal to W by 2. It is quite simple because entire load is working from the middle. Okay. Now let us consider a cross-sectional plane here, and this distance is x, and that time my deflection is y. So if I want to calculate the moment at that point, that is equal to your distance into your reaction. So that is basically Ra is equal to W by 2. So it is like this. Now if we recall the our basic plus 12 formula, that, and we are one more consideration for this problem solving is that the entire structure will not experiencing any permanent deformation. That means the entire structure is within the elastic limit and it is following the Hooke's law. That means the stress and strain are equal. Then if E is the Young modulus and I if it is the moment of inertia, then E into I into the acceleration is equal to your this moment. So as I told, the y is when y is in negative direction. So for my simplicity, I am putting this is mx minus mx. So that is basically wx by 2 minus wx by 2. Now if I do a single integration, so ei dy dx is equal to integral disturb করে। So this is equal to, if we integrate, so that is minus w x square by, ছেলেপুলেগুলো যখন বলি তখন করে না, অন্য সময় এসে ডিস্টার্ব করে আর কি। মুখটা পুরো কতবার বললাম যে সন্ধ্যার সময় হবে না। So that is this plus some constant c1. Okay. Now here, if we replace the condition that, because here my dy dx is there, so at x is equal to L by 2, my dy dx is equal to 0. As I told, this is one of our boundary condition. So if we put this side is 0, and here L by 2 means L square by 4, so minus W L square by 16. So my C1 is equal to basically W L square by 16. Okay. So now my equation is turned to EI dy dx is equal to minus W x square by 4 plus W L square by 16. Now if I take again integration, so EIY is equal to minus W x cube by 12 plus W L square x by 48 plus C2. Now again I will put at x is equal to 0, my y is equal to 0. So if I put that, then again here C2 is become, because all the terms having x, so my C2 is equal to 0. So my final equation is turned as EIY is equal to minus WX cube by 12 plus 12 plus
সেটা 48 হবে না,
হ্যাঁ
48 হবে না, x হলো না তো নিচে 16 হবে তো।
হ্যাঁ, so it has come like this. Okay, just one minute. Now we know now we want to find out the y maximum, which is at middle. So let us compute it. So E I y max is equal to, so we have to substitute this x by L by 2. Now you put that value and simplify and tell me how much it will be. Just in place of x, you put L by 2 and you tell me what is the right hand side finally coming.
Minus WL cube by 96 plus WL cube by 32.
You simplify that and tell me what is the final value.
Okay.
Sir, WL cube by 48.
So my y max is equal to WL cube by 48 EI. So this is the static maximum deflection at the middle point if the entire load is working from the middle side. You should remember this. Now if I want to find out the theta, the angle of deflection, theta A. So what I told? Theta A means if I take the derivative of, as I told, dy dx at x is equal to 0, basically that will give you the theta A. So EI into theta A, and I have to replace everywhere by x, so this term will be cancelled out. So my WL square by 16. So my theta A, for this case theta A and theta B both are equal, is equal to WL square by 16 EI. So this is your angle of deflection. So just why I am telling, when the thing will come, I will point it out, and that time you should recall all these things. So we have learned. Now, as we obtain the final equation also, that EIX is equal to this whatever it was, minus WX cube by 12 plus WL square x by 16, like that something, the final equation it will be coming. So at any distance, what should be the deflection if the load is uniformly distributed? And means what I am telling, if the load is working from the middle, it's a symmetric structure, then we can find out at a particular value of x, what will be the deflection. So this will be, we will be needed it. So now we will try to see that how we can find out these things by simulation, because simulation and your analytics, everything will be required always. So now I am stopping the sharing. Somebody can open the console and share your screen.
Should I share?
Anyone can share your screen console. Okay, now go to Model Wizard, 3D, Solid Mechanics, study. It should be a stationary study. Okay. Now you go to the change the unit. Here you add a block. Let us the width is 20, a depth is 30, and the length is 1 meter 1000 you put. We want to see the deflection of a beam of length 1000 meter. You build selected. Okay, so the beam has come. Now you okay, so this is the yes. So now you apply the material.
It's a structural steel.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so the material is applied. Why that cross is coming? One cross. Anyway, we'll see. Now you click on the solid mechanics. Yeah, you add fixed constant, and both side the cross sectional, that side you fixed as yes, that area, yes, and that side. Now you apply the, you go to volume force, body load. You select the entire structure. Okay, so you come down. You have to define the load. Not there. You go to body load. Load is not defined. Come down. Okay, so load type, you select load type as load type top. There you click total force. Okay, so load will be applied in the negative y direction. So you apply minus 10 Newton, minus 10, you put minus 10. Okay. Now you go, you select a probe. Domain point probe, and you select the middle of that surface, y surface, top of the means xz plane, top side. Not this one, not this one, not this one. XZ top plane, XZ top plane. Not that one. ZX top plane, at opposite of that surface. Here somewhere you select a point. Yeah. So that you here the coordinate you change. That Z exactly middle you put, that is put 10. X is that X is put 10, exactly 10, and Z is 500 exactly. Okay. Now you go to mesh. You do the better mesh. Build all. Now you solve the study. Achha, just you stop the recording. I have one call came. Pause the recording. I will call you back. So now compute the solution.
Sir, do we need to change something in study part?
No, it is stationary. Nothing to be changed.
Okay, then this is the results. Only this.
You see, yeah. So that is the, you see the beam is deflected like this due to self load. Now you go to the that probe plot one. You see that now the deflection at that middle point is around 0.0029 mm. Now if you Sneham left, boy, and now again you just increase the body load. You go to the body load, and instead of -10 you put -50, and again you solve it. Okay, now you go to the point probe plot. See, now your deflection is increased. Earlier it was 0.00 something. Now it has come 0.014. So this is the way to find out the static deflection, and we will be knowing these things in details whenever it will be required. So these are the very basics. Why I am telling, because you should get familiar with this. And now you can stop your sharing. I will start my sharing again. All you have studied Laplace transformation in your engineering mathematics. All you know about Laplace transformation? Hello? Okay, just I am telling. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Say, now we are, as I told, that we are knowing the dynamics of any system just to understand it. But in practically, for a structure, if I tell you find out the stiffness or the damping, it is very difficult to find out numerically. So let us take, this is my rotor dynamic system. This is my rotor dynamic system. Here basically I will be giving the excitation. If you remember the first, when we started, this is excitation is F0, omega, eccentricity. These are the excitation parameter. And finally the output is coming as the deflection, instantaneous displacement of the structure. So if we recall our differential equation, so mx double dot is equal to plus cx dot plus k is equal to f0 sine omega t. And if you take the more abbreviated form, so x double dot 2 xi omega n x dot plus k by m is equal to f0 by m sine omega. This is the thing. So you know why I was telling this, because if you take the Laplace transform of this, as it is a double differentiation, so your s square will come out. So if you convert these things to in Laplace domain, so s square plus 2 xi omega ns plus omega n square into that my x s, that is equal to my forcing function, which is nothing but this one. It is fs. So now the transfer function, if I want to represent the entire system as a transfer function, so that transfer function hs, that is basically output by input. So my output is basically the displacement. So it is xs divided by my input, which is the excitation, which is nothing but 1 by s square plus 2 xi omega ns plus omega n square. So why I am telling this? So from the time domain data, if I able to, so time domain data means if I know the residual mass and the angular speed and the eccentricity of the mass, and if I rotate the system with some particular omega, means RPM, and if I able to capture this displacement, and with that data, if I able to estimate this transfer function, then inside the transfer function, we will be getting this 2 xi omega ns as well as this omega n. So we can characterize the entire system quite easily, rather than going too deep of this to find out all these things analytical value. If you get the real-time data, and from there, if you are able to do that, it will be better. So in MATLAB is, as I told, using MATLAB, we will try to see that how it is possible. So if you open MATLAB, then here if you go, this is the Simulink model and this is the Simulink library. So as we don't have any real-time data, I am trying to generate the data. I'm trying to generate some data. So say first I am taking the transfer function. And I am taking some sine function. To take some scope to which we can see it. So let us give this the amplitude, let it be 1, and 50 hertz. If it is 50 hertz, 2 pi f means 100 pi. Okay, this is the excitation. Let us change this form. Is, you see, it will be in vector form. So let us take, this is s minus 1. So that means 1 minus 1. And this is, say, s square minus 5s plus 6. So this is the notation will be like this only. So one more thing just I need to tell. this transfer function can be written, the transfer function can be written as numerator by the denominator. And if you get the roots of this equation, means for our example, the numerator was s minus 1. So the root of this equation is s is equal to 1. That means we can tell the system having a 0 at s is equal to 1. Now if you get the solution of the denominator, which is s square minus 5s plus 6, if you take the solution of this, so s is equal to 2 and 3. That means we can tell the transfer function have two poles at s is equal to 2 and 3. So these are the two important terminology we need to know it. Okay, so now I'll change the axis of that because I need that two data. So you go to the setting. Here number of axis, it will be 2. This I want to save into my workspace. To structure with time. Let us take single axis only. And variable name, that should be output. And that let it be input. So go to setting again. So this is input. Okay. So now we will go to simulation tab and go to model configuration. Actually, these are the technique you should be very thorough while you will be doing any when you will be in industry. So you should know this. So that's why I am trying to give this flavor to you all, so that when you will be in industry, you should do it in better way. So this things is say 50 hertz signal, so it will be 20 millisecond. So I'm taking 1 second total duration. It is a fixed step. Whereas the sampling time I am keeping as fixed. And you know, I always prefer this Rangikutta method. And this sampling should be 1 millisecond. Just I'm giving, as less you are giving, you will get better result. Now you see in the MATLAB workspace, the workspace is empty. Now I will bring this two data, which actually we will be getting from the, so this input data basically will be the excitation and the output will be the vibration in terms of displacement. So let us run it. Okay, so see, you will get the output here. See, this will be your, even though it is not reaching the steady state. Okay, so let us increase the time into 2. Let us say. Okay, it is, the system is even though the system is unstable, it is because the value which I have given, it may not be appropriate for this particular thing. But now you see in the workspace, that 2 input and the 2 output, it has come. So what we are trying to do with this data, I will try to estimate this transfer function, because as I told, we need to estimate from the vibration data, we need to estimate the transfer function. So that basically we are trying to do. So for that, one very good tool is there, which is called system identification. You just type identification. So now I need to import data. So it's a time domain data. Correct? So here there is a, suppose here was earlier there was a problem, because if we use the scope, so the data type was not matching. Okay. So there is a tool called because this you see, this is a 2 workspace, so this is matching actually. So that's why I use that. And here, say my this transfer function, this function, because it s square plus 2 j omega ns plus omega n square. So let us consider this transfer function as s square plus 5s plus 6. So here 2 j omega n is equal to 5 and omega n square is equal to 6. So as we don't have any data, so that's why we are trying to generate the data. Otherwise this problem might not have come. So now here only the thing, this should be saved as array to get that desired data to analyze further. So let us run it. So now we got the time domain data here, input and output. Now we will repeat that same thing, ident, and here you take the time domain data. So it is input and that is output, and it is starting time 0 and the sampling time is 1 millisecond. If you import the data, it has come. Now I go to transfer function model, and here, as I told, for this transfer function, what we got here, because for our vibration function, there will be no 0, only there will be 2 pole, means the root of the denominator is 2. So that's why number of poles is 2 and number of 0 is 0. Now we will try to estimate it. So now the estimation is over. Now let us see that transfer function. You see, so the transfer function is 1 by s square plus 5s plus 6, exactly this one. So this is the way, because why this much problem we faced earlier, because this function actually, this we no need, because we don't have the actual data right now. So that's why we are trying to generate the data. That's why this problem was faced earlier. So if from a rotordynamical system, if you can get the excitation function as well as this vibration in terms of displacement, so from there you can generate the transfer function of the entire rotordynamics, where the damping and the natural frequency can be estimated very easily. So this only I was trying to say. Okay. So now you stop recording.